Alright, today we're having a look at Castle of the Nobunaga by Sushi Boy 305. Alright, so here we are in Castle of the Nobunaga, and I skipped the cutscene, and... can I fire the boomerang again? Oh, fudge. Okay, I did skip the cutscene and the power-up explanation. Oh, come on! You gotta wait quite a while to re-throw the boomerang? Wait, it doesn't? That's not the thing? That's not the teleport? Oh, fudge. Okay, crumbs. Okay, so it's R1 for the boomerang, and then... Now we got another power-up. They're only vulnerable after they attack. That's kind of neat. Sorry, there's already a lot to take in the level, and I don't know how well we're gonna do with this. So we're gonna try it out. I like the visual design of it, at least. I think it looks pretty cool. Button? Oh, do we gotta do that with the boomerang? I thought we do. Window? Some interesting signposting. I do appreciate there being signposting. A lot of levels, don't. The running back and forth with the power-ups. Now, in the actual level itself, I imagine it's not going to be that bad, but doing it as a review, it does kind of eat into the time a little bit. Now, this is a demo. I was trying to say. Oh, we need the brawly now. Hi. This is a demo going to be for the Far From Home. Well, the Ronin got killed, so there's that. I appreciate that. Okay, fudge! Was that supposed to happen? That was probably not supposed to happen. I mean, okay, wait, no, wait, we want that on. Right. Brawly goes out. So you got the triangle, but the triangle's also opening up the organizer, and that's kind of a bit of an issue. Now, can I shoot through walls? No, I cannot. Oh, but I can do this. I feel like there's so much to kind of look at and figure out that it's a little bit hard. Oh, I get it. That's actually, you know what? That's pretty darn neat. I kind of like that. I mean, I appreciate all the little gimmicks here and the way that they're working in the level, making me sing for my supper, so to speak. I did not want to do that. This is also not what I wanted, I don't think. Did we want to come back out here? No, wait, we need the brawly. Oh, there's a fudge. There's a Ronin. Oh wait, no, we don't care, because, hi. Oh, darn it. That's already 3 minutes? Okay, I got thoughts about this. I do like it and appreciate it, but we are gonna have to go back to the hub, and we'll talk about it there. See yas! And we're back! And Castle of the Nobunaga by Sushi Boy 305, who's Sushi Boy 307 over on the Reddits. And I'd say it's currently, unfortunately, an orange diamond. Now, the level does tell us right up in the title page that this is a demo for a level that will be eventually folded into the Far From Home Chapter 2 adventure map, so there's still some polishing to be done, there's still some buffing to be done, and Sushi Boy has asked for feedback in ways to improve the level. So here we are. And to start with, I do want to start with the positive points. One, right off the jump, I really loved the environment. I loved the architecture of the castle, both the outside and inside portions of it. I think there's some really good use of layering and depth of field effects in the camera to make this look like a place that's really big in scope. There's a bit towards the second half of the adventure, the second half of the level, after the mid-boss, where you're in this kind of dungeon caves type thing with glowing white crystals throughout it, and I thought the lighting effects in that area were really cool, and those crystals added a kind of a natural / man-made element to the level that was really neat. So that was all great. The gameplay as well, for the most part, I found pretty good. I know that I complained a little bit about having so much of the power-ups front-ended right in your face right at the beginning of the level, but I do think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm coming to this kind of out of of sequence. It's about 4 months since I played Far From Home 1. I know that the boomerang power-up was in Far From Home 1, and I think, but I don't remember 100% if the Brawly was in there as well. But for players that have played Far From Home 1 and then come into this one, they're already going to have like the practice with at least 2 of those power-ups under their belt, so it's probably not going to be quite as much of a thing as it seemed to me jumping right back in after that gap. And in fact, with the boomerang, I'd actually been playing that kind of poorly. I was trying to do the diagonal shot, and the boomerang and the blink ball that is based off of aren't really all that great with diagonal shooting, but you can just go right under that first teleporter and shoot directly up and just move on with your life. Don't make it difficult like I did. One neat thing that I saw with the boomerang that I thought was pretty cool was there's a bit of an inside section a little bit after we ended the first impressions section of that video, where you've got to bounce the boomerang off of this frog thing so that you can get it over to the teleportable spot. And I thought that was really cool. I thought the frog was really cute, and the way that it kind of bounced when you hit it with the boomerang was a neat effect, so that was really good. The Brawly and the sword I thought were pretty well scaffolded throughout the level. The Brawly and they both got issues, but we'll talk about those in a second. Like, you do get a lot of uses out of both of those power-ups, so you've got a pretty good idea and feel for how they're supposed to work as you progress on through the level. I like the fact that with the sword, we run into those Ronin characters a number of times before we actually fight the mid-boss, which we're going to talk about. And you get kind of the introduction to the Ronin. They tell you how to handle them. You want them to do their attack because once they've done it, they'll be vulnerable. So you kind of learn to jump in, trigger the attack, then jump back out so that they'll do it. And then you could jump back in and slice them up a couple times and kill them. I thought that was really well done. As well as with like the Brawly, we see that played with like 3 or 4 times before it gets really difficult. So players should have a pretty good idea of what's going on with that. Also, the secondary effect of the Brawly, that it can actually bounce water, like, you know, an umbrella would in real world, that actually does come into play in an obstacle where you've got to fill up these floaty fluid bits on a rotating obstacle so that you can progress on with the level, and you've got to bounce those over to where the floaty bit sections are with the Brawly, and I thought that was really, really cool. I like it when we see power-ups that have multiple uses and different ways that you can implement them to get different effects through the level. So all of that was really, really cool. I loved all that bit. I thought it was really well done. So then why do we got it brought down to an orange diamond? And there are 2 issues here. There are 2 fairly large, I felt, difficulty spikes in the level that I think would cause a lot of frustration to players. Now, the first one is in the mid-boss, Oda Nobunaga, and that section actually is really cool the first time you see it. I really liked the kind of handmade character cutscene. It's really well animated. It's got a cool and charming look for Nobunaga, and that was really awesome the first time you see it, because it's not skippable. We'll come to that. But when you get to the actual fight, now, during that cutscene, we're told that what you want to be doing is kind of baiting Nobunaga to do the Crystal Slash attack, and then after that attack, he'll be vulnerable for a couple of seconds, and you can slash at him with a sword, do some damage, then run away again. So the problem there is that, at least from my play, and I did this level probably like 6 or so times, I could not find any way to actually bait Nobunaga into doing his attack. He would do it eventually on his time and on his terms, but there wasn't anything that I felt like I was doing to kind of encourage that to happen. It wasn't like, and here's the issue with scaffolding, is that with the Ronin, we've been taught to kind of get close to the enemy, kind of trick the enemy into attacking, and then use that vulnerability, that section there, to actually get our attack in. But if we get close to Nobunaga, he's got a one-hit KO attack, and the range on that it's pretty close. Like, when you're in that range, then you're dead immediately. So there's no kind of like jumping in and parrying out or anything like that. So basically what I found myself doing is just running around the arena, constantly being chased by Nobunaga, and he's really quite quick. He's just slow enough that you can stay ahead of him, but still, like, you can't really fuss about. You've got to be moving the entire time. Then eventually he'll decide to do his attack. There is an audio cue for that attack, and I thought that's really important and really well done. And then you kind of dive in and hopefully get like 2 or 3 hits on him. But again, you can't tell when the vulnerability has passed, and if you're close enough to be hitting him, he's close enough to get the 1-hit KO on you. So I felt like the skills that we learned with the sword earlier on didn't really come into play during this fight, and it felt very passive on my end. Like, there wasn't very interaction for me to get me engaged in that fight, and I died a lot in that fight, and I died all the way out of the level because it's a double life checkpoint, but it is still a limited life checkpoint, so you could die there, have to do the entire level up to that section again. But let's say that you get past Nobunaga. Great, now you're in that kind of, that cavey, pathwavy kind of stuff, and that area, like I said, it was really, really cool, until you get to this second difficulty spike, which is a obstacle that you use the Brawly to traverse. Now, you've got vents that are underneath you. Those vents are going to be moving on a path from the right to the left. They'll be blowing up, and you want to stay on the air current to get over a spike, like over a big crystal, but then drop down to get under the next one. And I'm assuming, because I could not get past this section, I'm assuming that there'll probably be a number of those after that, and then finally you'll get to the end of it, I guess, because people have completed this, so there must be an end to it at some point. So the issue here is that it's really, really, really easy to get yourself out of the air current. It's not too bad if you get ahead of it. You can usually get back to where the actual vent is, but if you get behind it, the vent will just zoom out past you, and it's basically a guaranteed death. And that's what was happening to me, is when I was trying to drop with the Brawly after the first crystal so that I would avoid the second one, but because you're dropping straight down but the vent is moving over to the left, it's usually passed you by the time that you've got down there. I tried a number of times of like just disengaging the Brawly for a little bit and then popping it back open again, but already that was too late. Now that is, or at least it must be, doable because some players have completed it. But I do think that for a lot of players, they're going to get to that section, they're going to get killed out like I did, and they're probably not going to be engaged enough with the level to go through the entire level over again just to get to that point, especially because the mid-boss is so difficult. So I know that, you know, this is the second chapter in an adventure, and difficulty is going to be going up commensurately there, but I do feel like this particular hazard, there is some scaffolding for it, because you have been using, at least with stationary points of lift, you have been using the Brawly, but I do think maybe a little bit of scaffolding where you've got like a moving vent that you're going to have to be dealing with, but that isn't going to kill you if you fail it, just so that you get a better feel for like how long you can stay with the Brawly closed and still be able to make it onto the air current to get back up again. Now, I don't know exactly where Sushi Boy could put that, because there's already quite a lot of stuff in the level, but I think that for a better experience for an average skill level player like myself, or below that average, that a little bit more teaching with that particular type of obstacle, that particular type of usage of the Brawly, is gonna help out a lot. Now, as I said, I did really like the level a lot. I've liked the Far From Home series a lot that I've played so far, so I am looking forward to seeing how this is improved upon before its final publish, and how the second chapter of Far From Home shapes out, because I would like to see where the story goes. But as it stands right now, yeah, like, gonna need a little bit of work. But that pretty much does it for us here this go about. Sushi Boy, thank you so much for reaching out to me and letting me know that this level was ready to have a look at, and I wish you best of luck with what you're doing in the future. But that does it for us here this go about. So from me, Disco, here in Tokyo, to all of you out there, wherever you may happen to be, thank you, arigato, arigato, sayonara, see you, and ciao.